Hi, everyone. This is Aaron, and you are listening to Walnut Commentary, the official podcast for the pastors and leaders of FCBC Walnut. In this special episode, I spoke with Youth Minister Kevin Quan, and we recorded this episode live on Instagram. We're in mandatory social distancing due to COVID-19, so we talk about the challenges and blessings of online youth ministry, what the youth are dealing with during this time, and how we can be praying for them, as well as Kevin. Thanks for listening.
Hey, Kev,
Hey,
can you hear me?
what's up, Aaron? Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, great. So, how have you been? How have you been, man? How are you and Vanessa doing during this time of quarantine?
Pretty good. It feels like a simpler lifestyle. Um,
Yeah,
like life feels like a little less busier.
yeah,
Less meetings and stuff. Like I miss, people at church for sure, but
yeah,
it seems life was really busy like a month ago, but now it's just all of a sudden things are like really calm. Like just now we just finished watching the last Harry Potter. I was like, oh
nice.
wow, I forgot how good it was. So it's been simpler. I think we've been able to enjoy more like family time. Um, and earlier today we got some takeout from like a small business just to
Mm,
support. Um, so yeah, it's been kind of nice just enjoying more family time. Like life's like a little bit simpler. So yeah,
yeah,
I've kind of enjoyed it in some sense,
I'm
even though
glad
it's
you're
like
doing.
scary.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're doing okay. Let me see here, Kev. What is the most challenging thing about doing youth ministry online?
I feel like it's really tough not seeing those students like in person
Hmm.
and not like seeing them face to face and you can like interact with them.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like everywhere, like just not just churches, but like a lot of organizations, like everywhere across the world, we've kind of had to like adjust to learn how to use like video conferencing apps. I feel like I was playing around with a whole bunch of different apps, and I know Zoom's really good, but you kind of have to pay for the premium plan. So I'm just trying to find like the best fit. So there's some like technological difficulties, and so I think that's been kind of tough. Um, but yeah, I think the rhythm's kind of thrown off. Like you don't uh, see them week to week, so you can't give. At least for me, I haven't given like a full length sermon yet. So you feel like you still want to get that preaching out somehow, but um, it's like pretty difficult. So I feel like that's kind of been tough recently. Um,
Yeah. So what are you guys doing right now in terms of ministry? Like what has replaced the gathering, the fellowship groups, any small groups? What have you guys been doing from the youth standpoint?
yeah, we've kind of focused on four main things the past 2 weeks since everything's kind of been flipped upside down. The first thing is online small groups. So we've kind of had all the youth counselors still meet up once a week with their small groups, with their students online, and that's been um, a learning process as well. Um, so that's one thing. The second thing is we've tried to be more active on the youth ministry Instagram. I think we like barely posted on that. And so that's been an opportunity just to have like daily, I guess, content to reach out to the students that follow. Um, I think the third thing, we're still trying to have online prayer meeting once a week on Wednesdays. So I think Ryan's been doing a great job just having a place for fellowship and prayer together. Um, and then the fourth thing, we're having like a daily Bible read. We're trying to challenge each of the students because everyone's at home. Like they have time to read the Bible and to pray. So we're trying to challenge like each of the students to pursue that even more. So
Yeah,
I think those are the
yeah.
four main things we're focusing on right now.
It sounds like all the meetings then you moved everything online then. Everybody's just doing what Zoom meetings with their counselors.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that's been like the main source of fellowship for students.
Hmm.
But we've learned like it puts a lot more like weight on each counselor because we usually talk about the sermon, but if there's no sermon, you kind of have to like build that structure and have something to talk about. So it's you kind of have to have more of like a game plan going into the small group. So we
Yeah.
kind of realized that the past 2 weeks
Would you say
through
that
some stories.
would you say that Instagram is your main platform for doing everything right now?
Right now, yeah, right now. Um, yeah, we don't really have a YouTube or like a Sunday sermon, and I think it's been good if there's just like one English sermon on Sunday, and then it kind of has the family all together. Um, I think right now Ryan and I we are trying to prepare weekly sermons, but right now it's still currently mainly through Instagram, just
For
the
sure.
Gap and Unicoid page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for jumping on to this chat. Okay, what has been a blessing about doing youth ministry online?
You kind of have to learn like all the lingo. So like JDF just said, "Can I make a TikTok?" I think that's one thing. Maybe I'm still like, I don't know if I can do that yet.
Yeah.
Um, I think, in a sense, technology is like a blessing and a curse. So in a sense, like if I was, ministering like 10 years ago, I feel like it would probably been a lot more difficult. But because I know the students are online, um, I feel like at least there's a very main like intersection point. Like I know they'll be on social media, so that's like where I'll go to meet them and minister to them. So in that sense, it's a blessing that there is social media because I can use that to reach out to them.
Mm.
So I think that's been like a really huge blessing. It's kind of forced me to see what's out there that can equip like the students in their spiritual life as well. I know a lot of a lot of websites made their teaching content free.
Right.
So it's like, oh, like how can I get these to the students? Because I don't know if they know about this. So I'm just trying to like be a bridge to like shove all the good stuff out there towards them. So I feel like having so much access to all the content, it's been a huge blessing in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of content are you guys pushing out? You said that you've been using your Instagram account more often. Like, what are you guys doing exactly?
I've worked with the student leaders, and so each day, at least during the weekdays, there should be one student leader writing like a post, like an encouragement post, what they've been learning in their spiritual life.
Okay.
And there should be another student sharing like a 60-second encouragement. So like a video encouraging them. And then once a week, I try to give like an actual devotional, like 5 to 10 minutes. And then I've been reaching out to other people as well, like past Unicoi alumni, like Charlene, Michael, MOCC, to share encouragement as well. So I feel like I'm just trying to brainstorm, think different ways, but it feels weird just to like, I feel I'm constantly a lot more now on social media than I was before. So I think those are some ways we're trying to reach out to the youth at this time.
Yeah. Do you feel like that you still need to monitor your screen time, or do you just not care? You personally, like, do you feel like, okay, this is now my life. I've become an internet person 24/7 because this is where everything's happening?
Yeah. I think I was talking to Vanessa the other day. Because work is at home,
Yeah.
I feel like the lines are blurred. Like before, I can go home and I know like, okay, it's home. Let me just eat dinner, watch a TV show, just enjoy time with Vanessa. But now that I'm at home and I have to work, I feel like I'm working a lot later now. And I feel like that's something I've kind of been realizing. And I feel like I'm always editing something, but I like editing videos, but I feel like I'm doing that like a lot more now. So yeah, I feel like I've been on my computer like a lot more. So that's different.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. What do you see the youth dealing with during this time of quarantine? Like, what are their struggles, or what do you think is like a big, like, taking up their lives right now? Obviously, they're home, but like, yeah, what is on their minds? What's going through their hearts?
I feel like a big thing. I think boredom is a big thing. I'm hearing from students they have like a lot of time on their hands,
Yeah.
and I'm asking, wait, don't you have schoolwork? I'm like, well, some students say, oh, like our teachers like they haven't even figured out how to send homework yet, so they can't even send homework. Some students are saying teachers can't legally assign homework during this time for some schools. I don't know if that's true for everyone. And then some students, they do have work to do and they're still prepping for like the AP exams and things like that. But I think a common theme is boredom. That's there's like so much time and maybe Some of it is on schoolwork, some of it is on like entertainment, Netflix, things like that.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm hearing recently as well is I think maybe the loneliness factor is really intensified during this time because we're all just home and we can't see our friends like physically, and it's like I can't even go out. Like I have to stay home, and so we give ourselves entertainment. But I think it's kind of like the feeling we realize, like, man, I just spent like 5 hours watching anime, and I just feel empty like at the end. I don't know. So I feel like boredom and loneliness have been common themes I've kind of been seeing.
Are those like the issues, I guess, that you're trying to talk about during, your Instagram posts?
Yeah. I think last week I tried to talk about what it means to be productive with your time.
Yeah.
And I think I tried to have a balance between, we have to worship God first, but we all should also take care of our responsibilities. And I think there is, we are allowed to enjoy entertainment, but it should be done in moderation. But I feel like during this time of quarantine, it'll probably feel like summer. And so we're just binging entertainment. So that's last week. That's something I try to talk about. And so I hope that was helpful. But each week it's kind of like, what do the students need? And what, like, how does the Bible address that? And so I'm trying to understand some of the issues that they're kind of facing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Kev, for sharing all this stuff. Are these the main prayer requests that we can be praying for the youth? Is there any tangible way that people can help, even though like we're also quarantined? Like, what would you say? What would you say we can do as a church to help out the youth ministry, or even you and Vanessa? What would you say?
I know this is often seen as a cop-out, but I really do believe in this. I really do think prayer changes things. I feel like my biggest prayer for the youth is, I feel like this quarantine really just showed like how fragile things are in life. Like the things we pursue, like success or like a CIF championship, that college, like prom. I feel like everything we saw how temporary everything is. So I kind of feel like my prayer is that the students really see like that the kingdom of heaven is really the best thing you can pursue with your life. Like knowing Christ, I feel like to spend your days pursuing that, it can really enrich and address the purpose and the loneliness and even your identity in life. So I feel like because we live in a time where we are stuck at home, like prayer is a weapon that becomes that much more valuable. That would be a prayer, if anyone's out there and wants to pray for the youth, that's something I would really ask for and would be really grateful for. Yeah, it's hard to think practically to see what people can do.
Right. Right. How about for you, Kev? How can people be praying for you?
I think I shared this with my small group the other day, but because ministry is now like usually through social media, I feel like social media has a very self-centered bent to it. Like sometimes I can catch myself checking like the likes and comments, like, oh my gosh, like this is me. Like I'm guilty of that. And I think I just really want to pray that ministry, like everything I do online would be about Christ and pointing kids to Jesus and seeing that he is the bread of life. He is living waters. That true life is found in him. And I feel like that's a prayer for me personally, to always see, to kind of keep the priorities in the right place. I think like for Vanessa and myself, it's been kind of nice because we're just us two, and for the most part, we're just staying at home. So we've been able to stay healthy. And I think that's a huge blessing. And I think our family members, like for the most part, they're healthy as well. We don't know anybody who's kind of tested positive. So, but we know people work in the hospital and like the healthcare field. So I think prayer for that as well. And even like groceries, like Vanessa went yesterday and we went to Aldi's, which is like our new favorite grocery store. It was pretty well stocked. I feel like once the crowds died down, it's like, hey, we can still get like Lunchables, like ground turkey, like all that good stuff. So I feel like that's a blessing as well. Just we feel like, God is providing.
Well, thanks, Kev. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing prayer requests. Thanks for telling us what's going on in the youth ministry. What are the handles for the youth accounts? What is it? Unikoi Or is it what is it?
We changed
UniGAP?
it. I know
what
this
is it
is
right now?
weird. Hopefully, this is not changing of our golden history. But our junior high used to be GAP, and high school used to be Unicoi. But because at this time we want to be more unified, we combined it to UniGAP, which is, I know it doesn't flow off the tongue as well, but maybe I'll just type it in the comic session.
Yeah.
That is our
at UniGAP. No period or anything
UniGAP.
like that?
Yeah, well, there's a period in the middle. FCBCW.UniGAP. So that is
Okay, nice.
the main way we're trying to, I guess, post content and just encourage the youth and anybody who's like on there.
Well,
That's
thanks,
the
Kev.
handle.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for doing that. I will see you here on FCBC Walnut Instagram, and maybe I'll see you on the UniGAP, FCBCW.UniGAP Instagram.
Yeah, I think the old Unicoi account got hacked, so we kind of had to make a new one.
What happened? Who hacks a church account?
Maybe the password was too weak. Maybe it was like Jesus Christ or something. So we had to right-click and do suggest password. Actually, our password is still...
Don't say the password. Don't say the password. Say the password on it, Kev.
No, I won't say it, but yeah.
Thanks, Kev. Thanks for coming online to do this. Maybe I'll get you again, or I'll just see you around online.
Sounds good. Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Kevin, for being my guest on the show, and thank you everyone for listening to our podcasts here at FCBC Walnut. Don't forget to subscribe to Walnut Weekly, our social media email newsletter. We deliver fresh resources for free and provide peeks behind the scenes from the social media ministry of FCBC Walnut. Subscribe today to stay up to date so you never miss out. Find the link in the show notes, but you can also find the link under the resources menu on our website at fcbcwalnut.org. Please send us your questions and comments by emailing us at socialmedia@fcbcwalnut.org. We want this podcast to be useful and beneficial, but also fun and interactive for our listeners. Please let us know you listen and feel free to give us critique, comments, or questions. For more episodes, you can visit our archive at walnutcommentary.tumblr.com, and you can also subscribe to our official podcast feed on YouTube, Spotify, or your favorite podcast player. Just search for FCBC Walnut, and you will receive our latest sermons, podcasts, and more. For the latest info about our church, visit us online at fcbcwalnut.org. Thanks. See you soon.